Welcome to Operation Research. At the end of this topic, you should be able to understand the terminology related to sequencing model, determine the sequence of n jobs for 3 machines, determine the minimum elapsed time, and determine the idle time for each machine. So we will understand all these things with the help of this one example. So we have 6 jobs. So A, B, C, D, E, F are the 6 jobs which must go through machines X, Y, Z. So machine X, Y and Z are the 3 machines given, and the jobs must be processed in the order of X, Y, Z. That job A should go through machine A, then B, machine X, machine Y and then machine Z in order to complete it. We have been asked to determine the elapsed time and idle time for each machine. So let us solve this example with the help of Johnson's algorithm to determine the sequence of jobs. We wish to find out such a sequence which will give us the total minimum elapsed time. So this is the matrix which is already given in the problem, and these figures represents the processing time for, let us say, this 8 represents the number of hours required for job A to be produced on machine X and likewise. Now we need to reduce this matrix in a smaller matrix which will be given by where. Now what we need to do, we need to come up with the total processing time for machine X and Y. So we need to add these two figures, right, and put over here. So this 8 plus 3 will give you 11, and I am writing this 11 over here. Now you have to perform this operation for this entire row. Now why do we need this? Because in order to apply the Johnson's algorithm, we need to reduce this matrix. So this 3 plus 4 will give me 7, and likewise I can complete this row. Now we have to repeat the same operation for the next 2 rows. So y plus z timing will give me the 8 plus 3 plus 8 will give me 11, and likewise I need to complete all the operation. Now the next step is to plot the blocks in this way. So I am representing this x plus y on left side and y plus z on right side, because I need to perform the operations in a sequence of x, y and z, and we are ready to apply the Johnson's algorithm. Now I will not use this table, right? Okay, I will use only the table that we have updated. Now out of these values we will look for the minimum processing time. So I can locate that 4 is the minimum time, right, and which is related to x plus y and which is related to job D. So I will put this D over here, right? Okay, so this is x plus y and this is D, right? Then what I will do, I will cross this D because I have taken this D over here. So I don't need to consider this D job for further evaluation. Now from the remaining matrix I will look for the smallest value. So 6 is the smallest value, and which corresponds to the E job, and again which is related to this first x plus y value. So I will put this E at this location, and I will cross the E job. Again I will look for the smallest value, right? Now there are a number of options are available. So this 7 is also there, right? This is also a 7, so there is a tie between these two. So we can consider one which have order value maximum. So out of these two, 11 and 15, so this 15 is maximum which is other call or the row value. So I will consider this 7 over here, which is related to job F, right? And again which is related to this row X plus Y. So I will put this F over here. Now again I will look for the smallest value. Now the smallest value is related to 7, okay, and which is again related to job B and X plus Y row. So I will put this B over here, and I need to cross the B because I will not consider it again. Now there are two columns are remaining. Out of these two columns, the smallest value I can consider this to be 11. Now there is a tie between this 11 and this 11, right? So you can consider the value for which the other value is greatest. So I can go for C. Now this C, job C, this 11 value is related to job C, and which is related to this row, right? So I will put this C on the right hand corner, right? Okay, and I will cross the C job again. Now I don't have an option but to consider A, and the remaining cell is this cell, so I will put A over here. Now with this we have got the sequence, so we need to process the job in this sequence in order to get the minimum elapsed time. In order to calculate the total elapsed time, we need to prepare the table something like this. The job sequence is the one that we have derived just now with the help of this Johnson's algorithm. As the jobs are supposed to go through machine X initially, then it will go to the machine Y, and then it will go to the machine Z. This is the in time, okay, when a job will enter in machine X. This is the processing time of an job on machine X, which is given in the table, and this will be the out time of a job when it will be out of machine X. Similarly, there will be timings for related to machine Y and timings related to machine Z. And also we need to compute the idle time for machine X, idle time for machine Y, and idle time for machine Z. So what is an idle time? Idle time is the time for which there is no operation being performed on machine. So machine is either completed the processing of whatever jobs assigned to it, or it is waiting for the job. So we need to compute that idle time also. So let us start with this job D. Now a job D will enter in machine X at 0 time, right? And it will take 2 hours to complete the processing on machine X. So at time 2 it will be out of machine X. Now at this time 2 it can enter in machine Y, right? And it will take another 2 hours for processing. So by the time 4 hours it will be out of machine Y, and now it can enter in machine Z, right? And by the processing time is given as 9 hours, so 4 plus 9, so by time 13 it will be ready uh, for dispatch. So it has completed all the processings required through all the three machines. Meanwhile, after these 2 hours, my machine X will be available for the next job. So E can enter in machine X at 2 hours. It will take another 5 hours, and by the 7th hours, it will be out of machine X. Now, this job E will enter in machine Y at 7th hour because my machine is available at after the 4th hour only, right? So actually this machine is waiting for a job now, right? So that now we can see that the machine was idle and it was waiting for the job. Okay, so 7 plus 1, and it will be out by 8. Now you cannot enter this 8 value directly over here because your machine is being occupied by the job D till the 13th hour. So now job has to wait till the 13th hour. So So this 13 value we will put over here. So here we can say that the job is waiting and not the machine. Okay, so 13 plus processing time of 10, so it will take a 23 hours when the job E will be out of machine inside. Now meanwhile again you can put this 7 value over here plus 1, it will give 8 value, right? And again now uh, at this 8 this job F can enter in machine Y because this machine is available, right? And it has completed the processing from for the previous job. So 8 plus 6 will give me 14, right? Now you cannot enter this 14 directly over here because you need to have this value to be taken over here. Now here is a shortcut to understand how this works. Now what you have to do, what you have to consider is that what is the maximum value out of these two things. So this is the 23, this is the 14. So what is the maximum value that you need to put over here, right? Okay, so this is the small trick. So out of these two, I will put 23 over here. So 23 plus 9 will give me a 32. Again, at on this B front, right? So I can put directly 8 because this machine X will be available and it don't have to wait for the jobs because the jobs are already ready, right? So 8 plus 5 will give me 11. Now, what value you will put over here now? So can you put 11 over here directly? No, because my machine Y is not ready. It will be ready after the 14th hour, right? So out of these two values, 11 and 14, what is the greater value? This is the 14 is the greater value. So I will put this 14 value over here, right? So 14 plus 4 will give me 18. Again, can you put 18 over here directly? No, because till 32 hours the job F is being prepared on machine Z. So out of these two, 32 and 18, what is the maximum value? So 32 is the maximum value. So I need to wait till 32 hours and I will put the 32 value over here. So 32 plus 7 will give me the 39. Again, I can directly put this 11 over here, right? So 11 plus 8 will give me 19. Now, can you put this 19 over here directly? Yes, because out of this 19 and this 18, maximum value is 19. So you can directly put 19 over here. So 19 plus 3 will give me 22. And again, out of this 22 and 39, maximum value is 39. So I will put 39 over here. 39 plus 8 will give me the 47. And we are looking for now last row, right? So this 19 will directly come over here. So 26, right? So again there is a tie, 26 and 22. The maximum value is 26 plus 5, 31. Now again, can you put 31 directly over here? No, because this is the maximum value. So 47 plus 6 give me 53. So finally we got the total elapsed time. So what is 53 represents? 53 represents the maximum time required to process all these jobs through all these three machines. And we know that this is the sequence which gives me the minimum elapsed time. So if I could have taken A, B, C, D, E as a sequence, then I would have got this time which is more than this 53. So my next step is to calculate the idle time. So what is idle time? Idle time is the time for which machine has no operation to perform. So either it has completed the processing of jobs or it is waiting for the next job. Okay, so idle time for machine X. Now as we know that machine X was the first machine, right? So it started at 0 point and it was working up to the 26th hour, but total processing time took 53 hours. So the difference between these two will give me the idle time of machine X, right? Because machine X started at 0 hour and it stopped at 26 hour, but the total elapsed time is 53 hours. So the difference between two will give me the idle time for this machine X. Next, the machine Y. Now this machine Y didn't started at 0 point. It started on from the second hour, right? Okay, because it was waiting for first job. So 2 will be the idle time, okay, in this first row. Then I will show you the shortcut for this now. Right. Now focus on this machine Y only. Do not consider this machine X and Z. Now you can see that the machine was completed the processing of D at time 4, but the job E entered in machine Y at time 7, right? So this the difference between these two is my 3 value. So what you can do, you can look for out time for a previous job and in time for the next job for a same machine, and this will give you the difference, and that will be the idle time. So we can apply this strategy for next thing. So 8 minus 8, right, will give me a 0. So there will be a 0 idle time over here. So this 14 minus 14 will give me the again a 0 value over here, right? Now this 19 minus 18 will give me a 1 value, right? So this is the idle time again, and this 22 and 26, so difference between these two will give me a value of 4. And this is how idle time for the machine Y is computed. And one more thing we need to add, that this machine Y stopped its processing by the time 31st, right? But the total elapsed time was 53. So we need to add this difference between these two also. So which is nothing but the 22 hours. And now let us compute the idle time for machine Z, and we can employ the similar strategy. So it was idle till the 4th hour, so I will put 4 value over here, and now I will try to get the difference between these two values. So there is no difference between these two values, right? So at up to this point there is no difference, right? And we can say that, so we need to add here, we will not add any value over here, right? Okay, so we can say that the idle time for machine X is 27 hours, for machine Y it is 32 hours. So this is the summation of all these things, and for machine Z it is just 4 hours. Thank you.